Hello everyone, welcome back to our YouTube channel. In this video, we'll be discussing about pathway analysis and pathway enrichment analysis. We'll also discuss the two taxonomies of pathway enrichment analysis methods. Now, in the two taxonomies, we are going to treat the first one, which groups pathway analysis methods into topology and non-topology, and in the second, we are going to consider the three generational taxonomy. Now, if you are in any way confused about what a pathway is or what a protein is, you can refer to the first episode on the season and you get clarifications. Now, let's get into the video. When we talk about pathway analysis methods, we are referring to any methodology that will help us analyze these pathways that we've already discussed in episode 1. Now, under the umbrella of pathway analysis methods, we have pathway enrichment analysis methods, which are methods that will help us find out whether a particular pathway is enriched in a particular gene set that we have. Now, when it comes to the pathway enrichment analysis, existing literature groups these pathway and enrichment analysis methods into two taxonomies. Now, the first taxonomy is the topology and non-topology based taxonomy. So in this taxonomy, we are grouping pathways into topology based and non-topology based taxonomy. Now, non-topology based approaches treats pathways as unlabeled back of genes. They test whether a pathway's member genes are collectively prominent in a study without modeling gene connections or signaling flows. So we are only considering whether the pathway is enriched or not enriched. We are not considering the topological formation of however the proteins in the pathways are aligned in the particular data sets that we have. Now, in the topology based methods, we are integrating the graphs and the direction and the integration of genes in the particular data sets that we have. Okay, so we are not just looking at whether a pathway is enriched or not enriched. We are looking also at how interconnected the proteins in the pathway are in our data set. Now, when it comes to the second taxonomy, which is by generations, literature puts them into three categories. Now, the first category is the overrepresentation analysis, and the second is the functional class scoring, and the third is the pathway topology. Now, you can also think about the three generational taxonomy as the first one that we already discussed, being that the ORA and the FCS, which is the functional class scoring, falls under the non-topology based methods, and then the pathway topology falls under the topology based methods. Now, when it comes to these generation, when we first consider ORA, we are talking about whether a particular protein is overrepresented, as the name goes, in our gene set. By saying this, we mean that if the members of a pathway are found more than we could find at random in a particular defined gene set over a particular background set, we term that particular pathway as overrepresented in our gene set. Now, when it comes to functional class scoring, what we are doing is that we assign scores to the genes. So here we are not looking at a particular gene set or a differentially expressed gene set. We are considering the whole protein or the whole data set that we have, and we would rank them in a ranked list, and then we'll compute whether the particular pathway um, is contributing to the particular biomarker that we are looking at, or fighting against the particular biomarker that we are looking at. Now, in under the umbrella of FCS, which is the functional class scoring, we have the GSE, which is gene set enrichment analysis, and we also have GSA, and there are a few more methods under the functional class scoring you may want to explore, which we'll be exploring in our coming videos. Now, to the third one, which is the pathway topology, is just as the second, as we discussed in the first taxonomy about the topology based methods. Now, what we are doing here is that we take the p value from the significance from the ORA, and then we combine a perturbation, which is like a factor for the topological makeup of the proteins or the genes that we have, and we combine them with specific tests as by whatever method under the pathway topology based approaches that you may be using. Okay, so in our next video, we are going to discuss what into details what the overrepresentation analysis entails, and a few things that you might want to know about other pathway analysis methods. And thank you for watching, and we'll be glad to have you